Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are joining us. And first of all, I hope you are staying safe, staying indoor, and the people around you are safe. So, for those of you who are joining us for the first time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host and coach, Aditya Sisodia. Welcome to Stories of Opportunity Season 4, Episode 2. The whole idea of the Stories of Opportunity is to have those unique individuals who have decided to follow their passion and to build a business around their passion. Today is no different. And today I have a very special guest among us, Priyanjali. And the more I share about her, it would be less. On the special Mother's Day, Priyanjali has a song dedicated to all the mothers out there. Now, before I play that, I would like to share a bit about Priyanjali. Priyanjali is a management graduate. She's an avid traveler. She's a serial networker. She facilitates others with their business, and she has created this amazing social business networking community, the Clique Club, about which we would be learning a lot. And the best part is, Priyanjali is quite humble and approachable. Priyanjali is one person who I feel I have on my speed dial and I can approach her. It has been just like what few months. I met Priyanjali in December and she has come across as a very authentic person. And that's when I decided that it's time for me to have this conversation about different opportunities with Priyanjali. So I'll be playing this small song sung by Priyanjali for all of our viewers.
हरदम तू हमदम तू मरहम तू ओ माँ हरदम तू हमदम तू मरहम तू ओ माँ तुझसे बांधी ऐसे डोर मन भागे सबके आगे है माँ मेरी दुआओं में है तू तुझको सर आँखों पे रखूं ओ
Aren't you excited? I'm excited. And if you haven't done so, hit that like button, smash that like button, put in your comments because on the other side, Priyanjali is joining us. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's roll the intro and see Priyanjali. Good evening, Priyanjali. How are you?
Hello, Aditya. Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. Honestly, I was trying to kind of hide the fact that I sing, but you've completely revealed it to everybody, and I'm loving the comments. So, to everyone who's joined in today, thank you so much for coming on to this live. And thank you, Aditya, for giving me this opportunity. As you know, I was not very comfortable. So, this is me getting out of my comfort zone to come in front of the camera and do this. But I'm delighted to do this with you.
Great, Priyanjali. And ladies and gentlemen, we are currently live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And if you feel this conversation can support someone, make sure you share this conversation. And for all the people who are joining us live, please put your question in for our speakers where Priyanjali would answer direct Dil Se. So, without further ado, Priyanjali, my very first question, and this is the question which I invite all my speakers to address, and that is why did you choose this topic for our today's conversation? Network your way to the top.
Okay. So very honestly, Aditya, when I said network your way to the top, this doesn't necessarily mean that, networking will make you a Tata or an Ambani, right? But having a Tata or an Ambani in your network, it can only take you closer to the top, right? I mean, that is what I meant by network your way to the top. So basically, Aditya, I calculate my net worth with the number of connections I've made, not on monetary value. So for me, the number of people I have around me that are supporting me, that are there in my network, I count that as more valuable, and I count that as having a more positive ROI than having more bank balance in my account. Because I mean, it's money it's there today, it may not be there tomorrow, right? So this is why I chose this topic. Obviously, as you all know that as he mentioned, I'm a network facilitator. I have a small community which is called the Clique Club, where we make authentic, genuine connections. The idea behind it was really simple. I wanted to create a community which was not looking out for creating those business connections only, because I believe business is a byproduct of networking. So for me, networking was a lot more than that. And believe it or not, Aditya, in this pandemic, it proved to be true. When people were out there helping each other, helping their networks, I feel like that took networking to a complete other level. So yes.
Great, great. And a googly question which you had told me not to ask you, Priyanjali. Define networking for you, because when we talk about networking in pre-pandemic, pre-COVID, it was like go out to these networking events, chit chat, but now it has become all virtual. So please tell us about the virtual networking which you are facilitating also for our viewers and our would-be members, upcoming members.
Okay, so I'm not going to pick up a textbook definition of networking, because I think people can Google networking and they can get this picture perfect definition. For me, networking is an experience. When I say an experience, what does it mean? It means a couple of things. I look to find an experience with the other person that I'm networking with, right? Like every human being today teaches you something, which is why they've come into your lives. So when I created this community, it was really simple. I actually wanted to focus on the offline module, but we connected on the virtual space, so that is great. The concept was really simple. It was to create long-lasting and meaningful connections by trusting the other person across the camera, across the table, right? And we end up doing those things only when we're at a bar or like at a wedding where we socially meet other people, which is not to do with business, right? So for me, networking has always been an experience. I've always learned a thing or two from someone who I've networked with. And believe it or not, Aditya, just something off the topic, like my co-founder Megha, who's now my ex-co-founder, she was my wedding planner, my wedding photographer. Now, just a small example for all of you out here. Uh, there was never any hidden motive to network with me or to stay connected with me. But just because she worked like family, for me to refer her to other people became so simple, right? So she became my close confidant. And when that happened, slowly she started getting a lot of weddings. She started coming, seeping in through my network. She penetrated into the South Bombay uh, cream crowd of youngsters looking to get married. And I think she got about, if I'm not mistaken, about 10 weddings from me. And this she says very proudly, and she's still a very close friend of mine. So I believe in this virtual world that we are in, fortunately we have technology with us in our hands, and everyone's so advanced right now. We can really take networking to another level. That is why I say, when you network your way to the top, it means that you can really ace the game of networking simply by just showing up, simply by doing something nice, simply by being humble. So yes, that is what is networking for me.
And that's amazing. As Priyanjali was asking me, Aditya, how are you able to just go around it? Because just before this session, I had another live session with one of our Clique community member, Vandana. Hi, Vandana, if you're watching us live right now. And that's the whole idea. Network is all about your growth. And what Priyanjali mentioned, networking is not about the monetary value, it's about the emotional connect. And this is what I ask all the members out there. If I give you 1 CR versus I give you 1 CR loyal friends, what would you choose? Loyalty cannot be purchased. Loyalty comes from heart. So, ladies and gentlemen, remember this thing, because trust me, this is pure gold, where a business owner, a business entrepreneur are sharing all their learnings with you. Moving over to the next question, Priyanjali, we have got a lot of inhibitions when it comes to networking and other facts. And you are a young, aspiring professional person. What would be your one key message for our viewers who would be watching, who are watching, who would be listening to us? What should they take and what should they ignore?
Okay, so if I had to give an advice to a smart and a driven individual, as you mentioned in the question, I'd probably say this because out of personal experience, I'd say always follow the road less traveled, as the more popular one is usually crowded, right? And which is what I exactly did. I knew that business networking is a space which is overcrowded, which is super competitive, and is all based on net worth and value, and I'd say probably your balance sheet. I chose the path which was harder to penetrate into. I looked at social networking. I gave people live examples. As Vandana was saying in her live, which I just wanted to quickly pick up, she said that there was a client that was very toxic for her energy. Similarly, I've had members in the past who've been slightly toxic to the clan or to the group, and I felt like they wouldn't be able to probably give more inputs or like take or give more to the clan. They were more of those who were hungry, I'd say tigers who would want more contacts from the clan, right? So I simply told them, you know what, if you can't probably give in more, I think you should just take the refund and leave. So yes, I've lost business there as well. But for me, maintaining the quality and having another thing that I'd want to say, like this is something that my father said to me actually, that raise your bar so high that you have to stretch to touch it, then keeping it low where you have to bend. So keep your head firm on your shoulder. Make sure that you know what you're doing and talk with conviction. So that is something that I definitely wanted to put up to the individuals who are smart and driven. An advice that you should ignore is probably, I think people are going to be pissed off when I say this, but this is just something that it's a personal interview, so I want to say this. I'd say like chase money and not your passion. Like people keep saying that, chase money and not your passion, because satisfaction of money is short lived. But when you choose your passion, the high, it lives forever. So that is the advice when people say chase money and not your passion. I wanted to revert back to them and tell them that the satisfaction of money is short lived. But when you chase your passion, the high, it remains forever.
Amazing, amazing. So, Priyanjali, now it's time to take in the live Q&A, which we have got via YouTube and LinkedIn. So, the first question that I'm taking is from Ashish Tripathi. From YouTube, Ashish is asking us, what are the skills required for building a professional network?
Firstly, thank you, Ashish, for dropping in that question and for viewing the live and obviously removing your time during this pandemic. So I'd honestly say that there is no set, like a format of what skills you need to build, right? To build a professional network. I think you just need to be a genuine human being. You need to know how to trust somebody else with the information that you're providing, right? And you need to also give. These are personal skills, honestly. I wouldn't say that, okay, online you'd probably find build your resume, do more, go out for more social events, probably exchange your business card, make your business card in a manner which has all your information. But I'd say personally, from personal experience, the skills that are required to build a professional network that I have done in my life is I've stayed humble. I have definitely wanted to build a network which is quality. For me, quality over quantity any day. So I'd much rather have my 85 members that I proudly say versus having 85,000 members, which I can't even give personal attention to. So I'd say trust, I'd say confidence, really important, and I'd say reliability are the three skills.
Amazing, amazing. There is a follow-up question which Karan Nagpal has asked, and Karan is also a business owner. So the question that Karan has asked is how we can convert toxic client into beneficial clients. Any advice?
Um, Okay. This is I'm kind of letting you in on a secret, and because Aditya was also a member of mine, he's going to be like, "This is what you did to me." Obviously, he's not one of them, but just as an example, since you asked me, how can we convert toxic clients into beneficial clients? So, if you know that there's this person in your life who doesn't have good energy and has a very negative vibe, but is influential out there, right? What do you do? Really simple. How do they benefit you? How do you still keep them a part of your life? You probably speak to them once in a while. You have to stay in touch. Building any network, whether it's social, whether it's business, the key is to stay in touch. Now, if you stay in touch too much, that would mean that you're looking out to get something from them. But I'd say that you should probably just send in like a hamper or like a small token to this person when this person is not well or there's a family issue or probably on their birthdays or anniversaries. This means that you care. You will be noticed. Now, do not chase the person. Let the person remember you, recollect you, and then they will come to you. So then that toxic person starts to wonder, why have they been this sort of way with you? So definitely stick to your morals. If something is toxic for you and if you don't want them in your life, do not chase that person or that thing. Wait for it to come to you.
Amazing. And this is our next follow-up question from Nitish Kumar. See, our viewers are like a mind reader. They are able to read your mind. So what Nitish has asked is, how do you deal with those people who cut your calls or after one conversation, they do not entertain you, take your further calls? Although in conversation they are like your best friend, you can understand online they are your best buddies, best friend, and they are interested in you, but really authentically they are not there. So how do you deal with these fake audience who create this persona that, oh, we are your best friend, just let us know when you need us, just don't call us.
Aditya, I may have to loop in my sales team for this because I'm sure they face a lot of that. Unfortunately, I'm sure they have to go through all of that a lot. But I know because I started Clique, I was a one-man army when I started Clique, and I used to do sales. I used to make sales calls. So there's been calls where people are like, "Oh, you're the founder," and I'm like, "Yeah, I am the founder." Like, it's fine if I'm a founder and I make sales calls. It's not a bad thing, right? I'm very passionate about sales. It's very personal to me. So when you say how do you deal with people, those who cut your call after the conversation after seeming interested? Honestly, I don't think you can do anything much about it, right? Very honestly, because if they've cut your call, you're not going to go after them. You can drop them a message. You can check if they want to, return back your call or your message. But if they seemed interested on the phone, either they are people who wanted to gain maximum information from you. So whether you're in a business or you're looking out for a vendor, and that person has said that, hold on, I'm going to get back to you. Then if they haven't gotten back to you in that time, then you know that you have to look out elsewhere. Do not there's multiple supplies, there's a lot of vendors. The market is your open ground. You can still find a lot of people who are looking to have or to do business with you, or to deal with you in whatever manner that you wanted, right? So if that person seemed interested but did not return your call, or did not cut the conversation, or wasn't interested as much after you cut the conversation, means that person is clearly not your target audience. So why would you want to invest your energy into them?
Amazing, amazing. That's really great. And we are receiving a lot of compliments out here. Shavik has mentioned regarding your raise the bar and keep your head high. Then we have got so many applause, thumbs up. We are getting, I can't believe there is so much positivity. And thank you, Priyanjali. And I would encourage you, you should do this more often and you should start your own podcasting. I'm really overwhelmed. This is one of the most promising sessions which I had over a long time. Great. That's kudos to you. So, moving over to our next question in our segment, which I asked, in your life, what is your life mantra? What's your life hack?
So I'm going to go back to one of these quotes that I really like, and it's something that I want to implement, and I think I'm trying to. And this pandemic has kind of taken me, to implement this mantra. I'd say that in a world where you can be anything, be kind. So I believe that kindness has no value, but outside in the world where people need that, they require that. I'm not going to sit to say anything. People have these quotes ready with like really big words, and they come around, and then they don't even know the meaning of that, and then they kind of confuse you. But for me, like, kindness holds such great value. I believe that today, if you can be kind, if you can be humble, then I guess like you won half the battle. You don't even need to do anything else because that's going to come back.
So, ladies and gentlemen, remember this thing, stay kind, stay humble. And as Steve Jobs mentioned in his commencement speech, stay foolish also. Great. So, Priyanjali, my next question is, and it's a very personal question for our speakers. If you could recall just one incident in your life, be it in your college days, in the recent pandemic, or anything, what would you term, as per your vocabulary, a failure that has set you up as a person you are today? And what is your favorite failure?
So I'm actually going to probably pick on the most recent one that I think is, that taught me a lot and has set me up for success. Something which was pretty like unknown, and I didn't think that, this would work the way it would. So as you know, that Clique was supposed to be an offline community and was supposed to run in the space. I mean, social networking, you can't really network while social distancing, right? So so the model was very simple, and we had started with a bang, and we were like, we're going to expand to Pune, we're going to take this to Bangalore, we're going to go to Delhi. But then in 6 months after our activities, when we launched, the pandemic hit. And unfortunately, we couldn't obviously like meet in person and network. Because we don't even know when is that going to happen, right? So for me, I had to really gather my thoughts and be like, what next? Like, how long do I keep doing this? Should I continue with this? It's my passion. So then I thought of the idea of virtual networking, right? And believe it or not, the failure that I felt like, will people join in? And there have been times, Aditya, when hundreds of people have registered for a session and only about 25-30 have showed up, right? It made me doubt myself and my capabilities. Very honestly, I did not blame my team even once, because I believe it's a personal failure. I believe that if I can't get people to come to the space to virtually network, it's my failure, it's not theirs. But it taught me so much, yeah. Like, so it's my favorite failure for sure, because I feel like today in this pandemic, where people, and this is not from a profit perspective, this is more from connecting people's perspective. Like today I had someone from the clan asking, and it was like a quick call, yeah, like a quick message saying, I need a hospital bed, I need the remdesivir injection, what do I do? And this one, I spoke to him personally and I said, speak to this guy from the clan, he's going to sort you out for it. And just look where we've come. Like, just the kindness, the act of kindness has taken you so much. And this is all because of virtual connections. This is all because of the fact that I was like, I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to stop. And I want to say one quote from one of my most recent favorite shows, The Bold Type, which is obviously like super empowering for us women. Keep bringing your passion. It's how you're going to make your mark. Right? So that is the answer to your question.
Great. Now I'll be taking some LinkedIn live question from our viewers. So Bhaskar has joined us. Bhaskar Natarajan from LinkedIn has asked us. Bhaskar is also a professional coach. Hi Bhaskar. So Bhaskar has asked, how could you engage in business where you have to send an invoice for the services rendered by you with a friend and still keep the friendship? It's more like friends family discount. Please waiver the friend family discount and please give me the friend family discount. How do you tackle with this?
Okay. So, Bhaskar, really nice question. And especially in a service oriented space, it becomes a lot difficult because you don't have a fixed price to anything, right? Like, it really depends on relationships, it depends on referrals. That is what TCC is all about. But a funny thing that I do want to mention, since we are speaking about friends and family discount. So my father and my sisters both are part of the Clique's network, right? Like, I mean, both of them are members. And I could have easily just been like, you know what, y'all are my family. Y'all can totally just join in for free. Y'all don't need to pay. But that's not good for long-term business, right? I mean, short-term, it may be fine. And for your services as well, it's good to extend an extra service rather than give something completely complimentary, because then you doubt the service that you're giving. So for me, so my best friend, she joined the offline network, and she wanted to do this to support me. And I knew that she's doing it to support me because she's very socially awkward, all right? The second year, she did not renew her membership. So when she spoke to me, she's like, listen, I really like the space and, I want to renew. Now, for me, if I wanted her to be a part of the network still, which I really still do, but I understand where she's coming from, it's difficult times and everything. I could have easily been like, you know what? I'll consider the amount that you've paid already. I'll keep that. You stay. Whenever you're okay to pay, just pay me. But instead, I told her, you know what? I understand where you're coming from. I will still promote you. Being my best friend, I will still promote you. So you're still going to get the service of TCC for yourself. But it's okay if you can't pay, but you can't be a part of the network. You can't be a part of the WhatsApp groups. So that there's a limit to which you can do. And I'm okay to stretch the limit a little, but I'm not going to give everything for free, right? Because that's not good for long-term business. So thank you so much, Bhaskar. That was a really good question.
So for the viewers, make sure you are authentic in your conversation.
And just one addition, and all of these people, yes, my father is still my father. So yes, I still keep my friendships intact. So nothing has changed. Despite taking all the money from everybody, nothing has changed. But yes, I have learned that this is what I need to do as a businesswoman, keeping the other roles aside. And this is what you need to do as well.
Great. So be authentic in your conversation and be authentic in your service presentation. If we are not authentic, then later on we'll have some kind of misunderstanding, which is not good for either of the parties. Great, amazing. And I'm seeing there are so many compliments over firing on our chat. So, like you mentioned about your friend, Karan Nagpal has another question. Okay, and this is a common question because I've also heard the Clique member in my one on one conversation, and I'm also guilty of this, although I do not portray this. As an entrepreneur, sometimes I'm facing anxiety, like what will happen in the future, or sometimes I mix my professional with my personal life. What should I do?
Okay, so Karan, very honestly, my professional life is my personal life, and my personal life is my professional life because I am networking. So I have to mix the two anyway. So it's really difficult. So I get where you're coming from. I do have anxiety sometimes as well because you never know how relationships can turn sour just on the basis of one small mistake that you make professionally or personally, right? So about what will happen in the future, I think that anxiety stays with everybody for the rest of their lives because we don't even know what's going to happen in the next minute. But for anxiety between mixing professional and personal, what I'd say is for many of you out there, all you entrepreneurs, I'm sure you'll know how to maintain a healthy balance between the two. And I'm sure, like, since Aditya is here and he's a coach himself and he mentors so many business individuals and working professionals, that he knows that today he has to draw a certain line where he can be a coach to somebody, but he also needs to be a friend when that person needs them. That's what a coach is, right? Like, that's what a guide is, that's what a mentor is. So for him, I'm sure he's facing that anxiety in his life as well. But I think you just have to, it's not just about an entrepreneur, but you just need to know how to maintain a healthy balance between the two, and that's about it. And as for me, I think if this is the case, then I should have anxiety all my life because I'm mixing the two all the time. All my clan people are my favorite people. I have no favorites. Everyone is a part of my personal life today. Very honestly, I don't differentiate between my members. I don't differentiate between how much they've contributed. But for me, I put them all in my personal life and I learn from them. So honestly, if you have somebody in your professional life who you think could be a part of your personal life, that's great. Learn from them and take them into your personal life. I think that will benefit you.
Amazing, amazing. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm giving you a small food for thought before we go on a small commercial break. Just ask yourself, do you love your left hand more or your right hand more? If you are unable to answer them, then why are you exchanging personal over professional? You are the same person. And with that, we'll see you in the next 30 seconds after this short commercial. And we are back. So, so Priyanjali, we have got a lot to learn, a lot to discuss from you. And I'm sharing another question which Ashish has bounced on you from our YouTube. Uh, he would like to ask you because this is something very common. Being introvert is a bad thing. What's your take on this? Because let's be honest, networking is all about being extrovert, asking out there. What's your take?
Okay, so Ashish, firstly, if you're an introvert, welcome to the clan. Please come in. I'm going to embrace you with open arms, and I'm going to make sure that you don't feel like that ever again. Okay. So when someone says they're an introvert, what does that mean? Like in my definition, it only means that you haven't had the right opportunity to open up. You haven't had the right opportunity to show your true self, or you've been shunned in the past that has taken you in a shell, right? You're not naturally born an introvert. It's not something that you have, it's not a defect. It's just some situations or some experiences that have made you an introvert, for example. So being an introvert is not bad at all, like at all. I mean, yes, I consider myself as an extrovert, but I believe that we have a couple of our members who are introverts, very honestly. Like they're there, they're like silent, and they may not talk a lot, but they're actually really good human beings. They've just not had the right opportunity to showcase that part of themselves to everybody else. So, very honestly, Ashish, if you're an introvert, I just suggest that hang in there, find your mojo, find the right opportunity, and then show to people who you really are. So, no, being an introvert is not a bad thing. And my take is that you just need to go out there, put yourself out there, and I'm sure the right kind of people will embrace that. So, it's all okay.
Amazing. And Priyanjali, the reason I'm smiling is I still remember in our very first one-on-one conversation, I said, "Oh, Priyanjali, you are a singer." And you were like, "Am I?" I told, "I saw your video. You are a singer. Why are you not embracing it?" And trust me, I was really happy since morning where you yourself came up and you shared your video on Mother's Day. That was really a quite a overwhelming, exciting, as well as an amazing experience. Like you were quite shy. Aditya, should I share that I'm a singer? And we were like, on LinkedIn, you should mention it. On your Insta, you should mention this. In your introduction, you should mention this. So I really appreciate the fact that you are giving all our viewers such a safe space to openly express. Amazing. Now, Shubham Koshal has a similar question. And he's like, why is ethics being added to our study material? Do corporate lack ethics?
Okay, so I believe that ethics and morals should definitely be added into the generation that we are in living right now, because everyone wants to cut throat. As you mentioned, the cutthroat competition, the word comes from everyone wants to be on top. So everyone wants to step on one another to be on top. Nobody ever thinks that there could be another way to go on top. Nobody ever thinks that by not scamming on the other person, I could still be on top, but it just be a slower process. So as I mentioned earlier, instead of taking the more popular road, you can take the less traveled road and still reach the top. It'll just take you some more time, right? So when you said that, is it because we corporate people have forgotten the meaning of ethics? So I think every corporate structure does have corporate ethics as one of their, I think in their legal they have something known as corporate ethics, and it's a lovely word because I don't think people really adhere to that, because of course it's written in really fine print, so not everyone cares to read about it much. But it's so important that you tell everybody, or you have a session like an orientation session to explain what you mean by ethics. So a really small example here, Aditya, because it just crossed my mind. So since Shubham asked this question, so my father, he manufactures transformers, and he's been in the business for over 50 years now. And obviously, this came in through my grandfather, so it's like a legacy business. So in the office, it's really simple. Every staff member has to say, everyone, yeah, from the lower level management to the top level, they have to say Jai Shri Krishna. Okay. Now, it's not something that will come immediately. It's not like if you don't say it, you will get punished. But it became the ethics of the company. So today, even when people come home to take a signature, immediately they'll not say Madam Signature. They'll say Jai Shri Krishna Madam Signature. So this is what I'm talking about. This is what corporate ethics teaches, right? So I hope I've answered your questions, Shubham, and I hope I've justified to that it's really important to, I guess, like teach the right things to your people, whether it's the lower level to the top level. I mean, everyone should follow a similar ethics in their corporate structure.
And Priyanjali, I would just like to add two things. First is, I was just listening to one of the podcasts that instead of ethics, consciousness should be taught to people, to students. Like in our last episode, we had got Davina Kaur, who is the founder of sexybrilliant.com. And when I asked her, how did you coin this word? She was like, whenever we meet anyone, what do we say? Good, fine, awesome. I met my coach and he asked me, how are you? And she was like, I'm sexy, I'm brilliant. and then it became her signature move. Like when you just mentioned that Jai Shri Krishna. So the idea is, how are we becoming conscious in our conversation? How are we reaching out? So before I take on the next question, I would like to display few compliments because we are flooded with compliments in our chat box. See, lovely. I can't believe myself. There is so much kudos, applause. People are just head over heels for you. Priyanjali, I'm inviting you. You should start your own podcast. If this is a sign you are looking for, this is the sign. Roshni is there. Bhaskar has also written, thank you, Aditya. Thank you, Priyanjali. Then we have got ANC events from YouTube, which has all. See, Shubham himself has mentioned, really insightful, ma'am. Amazing, amazing. Great. So now I'll take question from Nitish. Okay, a very genuine, innocent question Nitish is asking. And the reason I'm smiling is I'll show it on screen. So what Nitish is asking, and I'll just display it on screen. The question is, ma'am, how do we deal with situation where MLM, multi-level marketing, shows great height of success, but when you join the network, the circumstances, the reality is totally different, and we don't perform the same as we think before joining. Like this is also something you must have seen now, for the members. Like I remember in our very first conversation, you had shared a very personal example. Like Aditya, one member told, I'm not enjoying it. I'm not getting any value in my membership. So please share your thoughts in this.
Okay.
Like there are a lot of events which say join us and your life would be transformed in the next 30 days. uh, and you are also very clear with all the members in the orientation itself. Hey, you want business, you will get business. Show up every time. Do not expect you take membership, swipe your card, and then you are like, hey, I'm not getting any business, I'm there in the directory. So what are your thoughts? What is lacking out here?
Right. So yes, as you correctly mentioned, since you've already given a couple of examples, I think that there are products, there are services where they lure you into it because marketing is such, right? Because the advanced level of marketing that we've reached, we can literally get into someone's home and convince them to buy something that is not even theirs, right? Like they totally market another brand or another company altogether. In the So this has happened to me. I'm sorry if I'm naming the networking community. So there's an ex networking community that is pretty famous and pretty renowned, all over, right? And it's got like a lot of different, I'd say, like circles as part. So I love it because they come in and they go like, you know what, we get this over here in this X community, but you don't give us this. And then we also get this, but you don't give us this. And then I tell them that, you know what, the reason you're asking me, you're answering your own question. So by telling me this, I actually don't answer them at all because they are actually answering their own question to why they should be a part of Clique. They say, we don't get to talk on the group on WhatsApp. I'm like, yeah, that's what Clique gives you. We don't get to make authentic connections. Yeah, that's what Clique gives you. We don't get to interact with people from different businesses, different sectors, maybe from the event space or fashion space. Exactly what Clique gives you. So instead of focusing on undermining the other person's capabilities or the other company's, instead of demeaning that other company's attributes or core competence, just focus on your own. It's really simple. Whenever someone signs up, if they ask me, will I get business? I tell them that if you're going to pay to get that much money back, then don't pay. I literally tell them this. I said, I can't promise you business by being a part of TCC, but what I can promise you is a positive ROI. What I can promise you is lifetime connections. What I can promise you is an authentic network. What I can promise you is personal attention that a founder can give to somebody who's part of their network, right? So it's all clear out there. So yeah, I think sums everything up. I think other people are going to like write to me now after. Anyways.
So we are getting a lot of applause, lovely comments, and I really appreciate that, Priyanjali. You are really vocal. Even Aditya, hi Aditya, Jai Shri Krishna. Okay, Dhara is also here, proud to be part of Clique. Amazing, Dhara. So that's the whole idea of authenticity, and this is something which I really appreciate about you, Priyanjali. Like you are like, even Vandana was saying, results come when your energy is committed to it. And that's your way of saying you show up, you will get business. But first, show up, speak up, talk to other people. Other people are not getting visions about your business. Amazing.
Because you know
Now,
what has happened, Aditya, sorry I'm cutting you, but you know what has happened? People, when they are a part of a networking group, no, like we're all a part of tons of networking groups on WhatsApps, right? Like people add you to like a certain area, like a Worli networking group, suppose. Like people add you to like a particular genre of networking group, suppose South Bombay networking group and all of that, right? Like there are many of them, no doubt, and they're all doing great in their own space. But the problem is they feel that if they just put a promo post of their product, people will buy their product. But that is not how networking works. You need to come and you need to take the effort into seeding that idea of your brand into that person's mind. That person goes, why do people feel like website inquiries and website leads are better than an Instagram form filled, for example? I feel that. Suppose someone's gone on your website and filled out 5 blank fields, means that person is genuinely interested, versus looking at an Instagram ad, swiping up and just putting your name for the heck of it and then not remembering, right? So similarly speaking, like WhatsApp groups today, for example, you just put up, as you mentioned, showing up is one of the key ingredients to success to anything. You show up for a wedding, you show up when your wife delivers, for example, right? If you don't, then obviously she's going to be like, you're not the father or something. So you need to take up responsibility. Today I cannot be like, okay, they tell me that will you be able to convert my business into XYZ. How can I convert if you don't even come in? How do I talk about you? How will other people know you? So it's really funny when people give me such absurd things that I have not benefited from this. But you have come for one session. How will you benefit from this? Yeah, so it's very funny when people give those, you have to show up.
great, great. Now, on the similar line, Shavik Ghosh has asked one question on LinkedIn, and I would also echo in on this question. Do you strongly feel that networking needs to be part of our education curriculum? Because networking is not something we are taught, nor we can just go out and say, oh, teach me networking, I'll pay you money. What are your thoughts on it?
Okay, so lovely question. I would love if networking was included in curriculums, because it would save time for me to explain it to all those leads who call me and they ask me what is networking. So it would be much easier. But very honestly, Shovik, I believe that networking is not something that can be taught. Very honestly, I believe that you need to inculcate the habit of networking, right? Like, I mean, you need to really be able to be yourself. You need to go out there and try. Like, for example, today Aditya, like he told me, you know what, come on this live. You're going to probably feel better when you do it slowly and steadily. Now, if I assume that this is something I've never been taught, I've never been taught how to go on camera, I've never been taught how to speak. But that is not correct. You need to come and try. You may fail, right? And failing is good, because tomorrow y'all can point out all my failures on the chat box, since we're all live. So when you said that people have a lot of inhibitions and they cannot connect openly with anyone, so I'll give you a very personal example here, because we have a lot of people over here, and I mean, since you all have connected, and thank you so much for all those compliments. So I don't think anyone here knows this much except for my family probably, but I myself have taken a personality development course. Okay. Now, so that can be taught. Now, through that, networking became a lot easier, because with the personality development, I knew how to do public speaking. When I knew how to do public speaking, obviously with my singing and everything, I've also sung in public. So it gave me a lot of confidence. So with that confidence, I could go out and network with people. So networking is more practical. It cannot be put into words. So if you ask me tomorrow, can you please send me your deck or your brochure of TCC? I don't have a brochure. You can call me up directly. You can talk to me, whatever you wish to. I'll speak to you for an hour. Even if you don't convert, you will think about me. So I just feel like, don't think about networking being in as your skill set from the day you were born. Look at personality development, look at public speaking, look at confidence building. Those things will help you really to connect and open up to people.
Kudos, kudos. Now, Nitish has asked another question. What motivates you in your low time, and how do you control your feeling, those emotions? Because Priyanjali, you are an amazing friend, partner, amazing daughter-in-law, daughter, singer, avid traveler, serial networker, entrepreneur. How do you control your emotions?
Okay. Hmm. So, honestly, I may look very, confident, and I may look like I'm all set. And I love that Aditya said, you have the gift of the gab. It's so simple. You can come on today's live and then you can do another one. No, I take my time. I prepare. I've been preparing for this the whole day, guys. So thank you so much for staying in and for all those comments. It's really worked hard for. But what motivates me in my low time, I'd say, is so you can't control your feelings, right? So you do get low. So very honestly, this happened to me yesterday, and it was a vibe of the house for some reason. Everybody around was just feeling low, and nobody wanted to talk about their feelings because they're all like, "It's not just a good day. I'm not feeling too well," and such words come out. What did I do? I can't tell them that you also try this, you also try this. I just put on some music. Now this other person who was low as well, that person was just lying down and being low and sulky, right? What I did was I tried to uplift my mood. While I was uplifting my mood, automatically that person's mood was also uplifted, right? So I just put on some music. So very honestly, I don't have anything that motivates me when I'm low. I think I just put on music. I love listening to music, and it's very weird. I started sometimes listening to really weird genres, and I sing along. And like people in the house are like, okay, you sing a lot, so now you can keep quiet. But like, I think music really motivates me during my low times for sure, like 100%. So just before the live, also I was listening to a song. So don't worry, it's like there. Now I'm high on energy.
Great, great. So we have got a compliment from Shubham via YouTube, where he really acknowledges. Thank you, Shubham. He acknowledges very well answered on introvert. And for Ashish Tripathi, here is another compliment for you, that you are not an introvert. Stop calling yourself an introvert, because if you were, you wouldn't be participating so much. So kudos, Shubham. And man, we are about to hit our 60 minutes mark. So I would just like to show you some of the amazing compliments that we have got from our viewers. And here they are on the screen. Nitish, great ma'am. Dhara also. Clique Club has given me some amazing friends. Thanks, Dhara. And these compliments are just flowing in. Bhaskar also mentioned showing up is the key to success. So many. I'm also really charged up. Amazing session. Thanks, Vatsal. Vatsal had joined us for Instagram also. Great, Vatsal. Ladies and gentlemen, just keep on pouring in. And Shavik, you had addressed Shavik regarding this question about personality development should be more essential because it helps you with networking and your public speaking skill. And Shavik has also just complimented your response that that is true, ma'am. Networking is so innate in human behavior, as you said earlier, that it just needs the right circumstances and the right people to surface itself. Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your thoughts. And that's quite powerful. Okay. So, Priyanjali, getting back to our original track, uh, what event have shaped you the person you are today?
I think people are already bored of me talking. I hope not. So
No,
if
no,
you're
no, no,
having
no, no.
5 minutes more, since like Aditya and I have prepared for this. So this is what we wanted to do originally. So very honestly, he told me I'm gonna follow the questions, and there's just gonna be a couple of them that are gonna be coming on the comments. So just pick them as they go. But clearly, like this has gone into another direction. I'm loving it though. So thank you so much to everybody who's putting in all those questions and stuff. And I'm always there. You can connect with me. I love talking to people. I love getting to know different experiences. So since you said your question was that what events have shaped the person you are today. Okay, so I think if I had to talk about a couple of qualities about myself, I'd probably say that I'm a confident, decently confident person, and that came around from a very funny incident that happened, which is why I started Clique, by the way. So for all those who don't know why I started it, it's not because my father told me, you don't do anything, you're married, you don't do anything, and you're sitting at home. It was a lot more than that. Yeah, that added on to it. But I had actually gone for one of this business model making workshops. Like you make a business plan, you sit around, you think of ideas, you put those ideas in paper, and there's a set system, there's a format that they give you, a sheet and everything. And obviously you're known to introduce yourself. So I, at that time, was a freelance PR consultant, right? So I introduced myself as a freelance PR consultant. It was great and whatever. At the end of the session, everyone started networking and communicating, right? So when they started doing that, I did not have a business card. Everyone over there was exchanging business cards. And I just felt like, why isn't anyone coming and talking to me? Is it because I'm a freelance PR consultant or a strategist? No. So it was really funny that you need a business card to prove your worth or to prove that you're a confident person. Why can't you not have a business? So this is what I love, guys. If y'all are not doing anything, for example, y'all are homemakers, y'all are working in jobs, y'all don't have a business right now, y'all are aspiring entrepreneurs, y'all can all still join Clique. Because why should networking only happen between business owners or entrepreneurs? What are these terms? You can call yourself an aspiring entrepreneur. Next time when you're signing a form to fill out for a networking community, make sure to write aspiring entrepreneur. That's it. You don't need to mention anything else. As long as you write that, people will be like, you're in, right? So I believe like confidence for sure has helped me that incident has shaped me into what I am today. And along with that, I studied in Warwick. So I was in a university of Warwick. I was studying business marketing. And I'm not, as you know, like Indian kid, you're not really, used to sending people abroad, and your kids, you're very protective about. I'm a very protected child. So I learned independence for sure. So now I know that for a matter of fact that if I can be independent, I can hope and make sure that other people in my clan can also feel independent, and they can feel like they have a voice, and they can have the confidence to put it out there. So adding on to that, also leadership qualities, I feel like, because so as you know, like unfortunately my partner, she had to quit because she got married and she shifted into another city. So everything was on me. So that was a daunting task, and that was something that I was not ready for. But I worked, I learned on the job, I learned on the go. And definitely independence, confidence and leadership is what I have learned to what it has become today with all those instances. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. So the reason I was smiling was because today in the evening when I was having this conversation with Vandana, so Vandana mentioned an instance. Hey, halke mein mat lena, I'm not a freelancer. I've got a company. So when you mentioned that I was in that business event and I told I'm a freelance PR, people were like, no one was crossing. So that's really amazing. When you say right, aspiring entrepreneur, that's
Yeah,
kudos.
just right.
And really, it means a lot because so many people get this identity crisis where they feel totally neglected. And thank you, Priyanjali, for being so vocal about it, for providing a safe space for members to openly express themselves and not being judgmental. That's really amazing. Now, Priyanjali, my next question is the most crucial question. What have you become better at saying no to? Because sometimes you might feel overwhelmed. Oh, Priyanjali is on my speed dial. She's a very helpful go-to person. Hey, Priyanjali, how are you? I want this. I want that. So, what have you become better at saying no to?
So everyone's going to take advantage of this, of course, because I feel like people are going to now start messaging me after this answer. But I actually don't say no to work or to friends or to family a lot because I don't know, maybe it's my nature, but I just don't easily say no. But yes, to make it funny and to keep this conversation light, I have definitely learned to say no to friends who want to get ready and meet you for a drive, and they go like, hey, why don't you get out of bed and meet me? And no, this is the pandemic. I can't meet you. You understand, right? I mean, no, I can't get out. I mean, unfortunately, I would love to come for your home scene, but like, pandemic, we're very stressed out. I've said no to healthy food. So like definitely, which is why all the weight gain. And to all my team members who are here, they know that I've said no to salary increments. Unfortunately, very sorry. You'll have to stick around until the end of the pandemic, and then we will work on that. So yeah, those are just funny answers. I normally don't say no, so like It's just something.
Great, great, great. So that's really good. Belly laugh, and which we need in today's time. You should put entertainer also,
My
Priyanjali.
hu-
I'm telling you.
my husband is going to is he's laughing here on the comments is because he's going to deny because I say no to him all the time. That's what he thinks. So he's like, ask me. She says no to everything I say.
And we are having a lot of emoticons, smiling emoticons out here. Great, great, great. Even Abhishek is saying, I'm sure the list is long. That's really good. Now, Bhaskar has really mentioned and Bhaskar has shared his experience that in 98, when his boss told him, take these two boxes of freshly minted business card, and when you come back with 100 visiting cards of prospect. So Bhaskar is saying he can really relate to this thing. And this is a reality that networking has become more of card exchange. And it's not about having authentic, because we are more like this that, okay, how can I get the instant result, instant gratification? And networking is about, which you mentioned few moments back, is about having those long lasting life connections, because this is what helps. Now,
I wanted to add to this because Bhaskar said that. I mean, it's so wonderful because I know that I mean, people in the sales have experienced that and they have to do it as part of their job. And I'm sure all of us, when we go out there anywhere, we're all about, we're going to carry our business cards and then we're going to have a conversation. We're immediately going to give them the business card and take it back home. What ends up happening after that is you come home and you throw that bunch, that pile, and you throw it in the bin. Nothing else happens with it. But unfortunately, because this is the world, I also had to remove a business card of my own. And like, I also had to make sure that I'm also living up to the game. So if tomorrow someone says you're the founder, where's your card? So I can say, yes, see, this is my identification. Unfortunately, I have to show you this. So my business card, if you notice, Aditya, I really want to give it to you actually in person. It's very experiential. If you touch it, it's not the regular business card. It's got a coating. It's a leather coating on it. The foil or the logo is gold foil. So again, my business card is also experiential. So tomorrow you will not throw it easily. At least you'll use it as a reference, or you'll be like, "मेरे को ऐसा business card बना के दो." You know. So business cards today have become it's become like a prerequisite to do anything in life, right? So we just want to try and break away from that. I think out of the 1,000 that I got printed, I think I must have used probably like 10, 20. I don't really use business cards otherwise, so it's unfortunate, but it's the hard reality, the truth.
Excellent, excellent. And we are going to take Rajesh question. I'm just going to scroll through it because you are in high demand. And Rajesh has commented. I hope you are going through all comment, expecting a reply. Okay, Rajesh, just give me 1 minute. I'll just scroll through if you can again repost, because we are having such a deluge of comments. Rajesh, if you can again repost your question, that would be great. In the meanwhile, I'll just take question from Bhaskar. And Rajesh, in the meanwhile, I'll just go back to your question. So Rajesh has this question: what books would you recommend for a positive professional networker? Or any series or any movie which you feel has shaped you as a person?
So honestly speaking, since this is a live, I'm not going to sound very professional by saying this, but I'm not a big fan of books. I'm not an avid reader or anything. And but I've heard the 5 a.m. book club is really good. So in case you want to develop a good habit or a disciplined lifestyle, I think the 5 a.m. book club should definitely work out for you. And it teaches you, it gives you these small snippets which you can take from and you can implement in your own life. It's really simple stuff. I think if you want to start off, you should pick up a smaller book which you can finish. So as Aditya had said that, so in fact, he's written a book of what, 20 pages, Aditya?
Yes.
So you should start off with something similar to that, and then honestly, there's nothing which can make you a positive professional networker, because there's no book on it. Honestly, I mean, everything's a learning experience. It's all in the experience that you have for yourself. So if someone tells me, yes, but Bhaskar, you can definitely read the book that I write. Hopefully, it will give you a positive experience by the end of it. If
Excellent.
I write the book.
Excellent, excellent. And I know, Priyanjali, you have got another commitment at this hour. So Priyanjali, how can people reach out to you? That's our last request and question of the day?
So I'd love to connect with people. If anyone has any questions that I've not answered, please drop me a message on Meet Your Clique and I will answer. That's the handle that is the Clique Club's handle on Instagram. Otherwise, you can definitely message me on LinkedIn. My ID is Priyanjali Dhoot Malpani. I'm going to get back to each and every one of you. It was lovely connecting with all of you. And I'm really looking forward to such more lives, Aditya. So thank you so much for this opportunity. I think it not only helped me personally, but I guess I think the candidness, because of your confidence and candidness, it really took the conversation to another level. So thank you so much, Aditya. I'm so glad to be inaugurating my lives like this with you, and really delighted to be here. And thank you so much to everybody who joined in.
Thank you, Priyanjali, and it was amazing hosting you. And I look forward to interacting with you more in the coming days ahead.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone.
Great. So, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We'll be seeing you next week, same time, same place. And most of all, stay safe, stay strong. Goodbye.